Don't talk about the homestead.
Don't talk about the homestead.
I'm trying to sell my family on 10 acres. I'm not there yet. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another morning edition. I'm meteorologist Ted Fay, and we have morning anchor Julian Sador, Jason Harper, Annie Satowski in here with another morning edition. And this topic that we're about to cover is actually something that was covered by our very own Taylor Young about tipping. And this has been
let's talk.
a little contentious in the newsroom. I'm going to start off
in the newsroom.
Come on, Ted.
and beyond. I'll start off with this. Bank rate survey in 2024 found that 66% of Americans have a negative view of tipping culture today. Now, you might see it in the kiosks when you go to the coffee shop or out and about. So tipping, guys, how do we feel? Has it gotten out of hand? Do you have tipping fatigue? And I believe North Carolina, one of the top states when it comes to tipping. So let's break it down. What do you guys think?
Well, I like that the Carolinas were good tippers. Maybe that's a Southern thing. I don't know. I can't pinpoint it, but that's good. Let's start with the positive, right?
Yeah.
I'm seeing, I wouldn't say tip fatigue, at least personally, not tip fatigue. Yeah, I'm getting tired of going to places where they get paid to do the service they're doing, whether it's PetSmart. And every little time you put your Apple Pay or your card up there, it's constantly, do you want to round up for veterans? I'm all for that. I typically always do it. An extra $1 or $2 to help pets. I try to do it a lot of the time. But I feel like we are being bombarded all the time for 20% before the service has even been given to you. How do you take your tip back if they didn't do a good service?
That's true.
I never thought about that till just now.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Whatever you give them, you give them. I don't have. There are a couple things that I have an issue with. I mean, like before the tipping for some of the carryout, I know some people didn't do that before COVID and after COVID. I tip a couple bucks. I'm not going to go full 15, 18, 20% if you're just the person putting the stuff in the bag for me. I'll give you something. My issue, I guess, is I don't love when it starts at 20, goes to 25%, then 30%. However, here's what Ted and I disagree on.
Ooh.
I don't mind if the restaurants go ahead and try to. That's the system they have. I don't mind seeing it. I'm just not going to be the guy that just because you only give me 20, 25, and 30, I'm going to select one. I'm going to hit other, and I'm going to give you the tip that I think you deserve. I always try to tip at least 18%, 20%. I'm a good tipper, I feel like. But, yeah, I think the tipping culture's gotten a little bit out of hand.
Ted, do you want to rebuttal that before I go?
Fair
Of course
enough.
he does.
I'm going to let you. I'm going to let you go.
My issue is more with the manipulation of the display, right? The 30% on the left side, 25 in the middle, 20 on the right. We know statistically most people will hit the left if they think it's the lowest because they're not reading. Julie and I have gone back and forth. Folks, if you're watching and we both
Psychology.
agree, you should read. Just read what the kiosk
now he
says.
wants to agree.
We came to the conclusion. Julian and I, we bridged the gap. He says, yes, people should read, but we shouldn't have to do them like that, which means putting the 30% on front, I don't think is
be honest.
Yeah, I don't think that's honest practice, right? I do think, even with Julian's example, if it's a bad service, I'm doing 15 to 18%. If it's great service, maybe up to 25. And sometimes out of ease, it'll go up to 30 just because I like to round up. But that's to the discretion of the tipper. I do think it's more of that social pressure aspect that gets to people where, to Jason's point, I haven't even gotten the food yet. I haven't even gotten the service that I'm paying for yet. And then the person, he says, would you like to tip? And then we're looking at each other and it's awkward if I'm like, 18%. I don't know what you're going to do, man.
Right.
Let's see what happens.
Or they just say, there's going to be a question for you. And then they stare at you.
Yeah.
No one wants to see that.
As they're supposed to feel I get the intimidation. I do.
I understand. I mean, if anyone's ever worked in service, you know how important tips are. I think that everyone should do it at least once in their life. I did a summer job in college, working as a cocktailer and, doing food service at one of the bars, which actually had really good food. But getting tipped like a quarter on wing night was
Yeah.
so
Trash.
annoying.
Trash.
Granted, that was way back in the day, like 2011. So before COVID hit and before I feel like the tipping culture just got worse because why? That's how people were making their livelihoods. That industry was hit so hard during the pandemic. So I understand why people did it. I am a good tipper. I always at least tip 20% at a restaurant. Always give more for great service.
Yeah.
But I have the problem with my coffee order and automatically being asked for 25-30% when I just ordered a latte. Like, gone are the days of that tip jar with the dollars in it. Nobody has dollars anymore. I totally get it. If I'm feeling froggy one day, I will take the time and go through and give you an extra dollar or two. Now, I don't want to do it, but if I'm ordering something online, I'm picking it up on my way home, and I know that that's just being like put in a bag, and then I physically have to walk myself in and go pick it up. People might hate me for it. I don't want to tip. I don't want to do it, but I do it. I do it because honestly, I'm worried about something bad happening.
Karma. You don't want karma to come down.
I don't want bad karma, but also I'm worried about something happening to my food.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
Just
exactly.
a casual little, like a hair winds up in there, or maybe someone sneezed. I don't know, but
Put in
I'm
your
like
coffee. Like, what do you think? They're just gonna make your latte
some
not
sneezers, like from friends. But no, I think it's gotten a little out of control. Like for example, at a baseball stadium or any stadium where it's like I just wanted a bottle of water. I'm driving home. I'm not drinking anything. No one's doing anything. I want that Dasani behind you. Turn the screen around for a tip. I'm like, no.
Yeah, no.
Sorry.
Doing what you're paid to do.
Our interaction was 2 seconds.
Well, I think
no, thank you.
You pose an interesting thought process too, where if you're picking up something, maybe it's a takeout order, but if you're out and about at an event and you're picking up merch, I bought a T-shirt and they asked for a tip, and so I was like, okay, is that not included in the price of the merchandise that I'm buying? But it begs the question, because of the technology that we have nowadays, a lot of these systems for these entrepreneurs who are using the technology, giving to them, whether it's Stripe, Square, it's called the POS, point of sale system. It automatically has that in there. So it's one of those features that is defaulted on. So it almost poses the question now for the discernment of the people who are shopping or going out and about. What do you tip for, right? If you're getting food, I think that's clear and cut. Even services, if you're going to the spa, massages, things like that. But what industries do you tip in? Have we expanded the scope of where we tip?
I guess. I mean, apparently we have, whether we like it or not, always for a service. If someone's doing something for me, especially massages and, if you're getting your nails done, things like that, always tip for that because someone is doing a service for you. But if you're
construction in the house.
Yeah.
I tipped. We had a fence put up. I tipped.
Yeah.
And I made a big bowl of, it was hot out there, so I had to make some iced tea.
Construction?
I wouldn't want to. Well,
You make a big bowl of iced tea?
Well, yeah, like a.
if they're building it for you.
Yeah, they're building a fence.
I thought you meant for your house. I'm like, no, if you're building a house, you're already paying for that.
Oh,
right?
yeah. You get work done in the home, right?
Well, old school would like
handyman or someone.
both punch.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and then if they're outside, it's hot, man, feed them, bring them something to drink.
There's
How do you feel?
Well, there's not as many restaurants that are still doing what they started during COVID, which was they'll have an extra line of tip for the kitchen. Have you been to some of those restaurants?
I do like that.
And I do like that because I don't know, maybe it's based on who owns the restaurant or what their split tip is like when they close at the end of the night. I don't know what percentage usually goes to the house.
Yeah.
I don't know what percentage goes to the kitchen, but I feel like sometimes they get left out. And to me, I mean, they're doing the hard, hot work, right? That's not glamorous and it's not out front. So I do like those restaurants. And so, yeah, maybe it's 20% to my server if they did a good job last year.
It's tight.
And then maybe it's add a couple dollars or something into the pot for those in the back.
They also get paid differently, though.
I like that.
They
get a different rate. So your waiters are on a tip base versus back of the house. You're making a full rate. So
I have seen some restaurants where they have a separate line where
they
make it in that, you tip your server. They say, hey, we have tip the kitchen. And then it's like, leave whatever you want to.
If I had the best meal of my life, I want to leave a tip for the chef. Yeah.
I want to meet the chef and smack him. No, they have, my buddy has that. It's buy the kitchen a beer. But I also like, to your point, Jason, my wife and I, we love going to live music. And if we go to a restaurant that has live music, we're there. If I see on the receipt, you can leave a tip for your server, but they also say tip the band. I
Oh,
like
yeah.
that
That's fun.
option. And sure, the band will have their own tip jar up. If they're 21st century, they'll have the QR codes
Yeah,
for
yeah.
digital.
Venmo or
But
something.
it's also, I think, a great reminder to the folks who are sitting at the table who might not have taken the initiative to get up and tip of like, hey, you just had a great meal. You listened to some music. You tip your server. What about the people playing the music? You could tip them too. So I like that option as well.
Two final thoughts, and I'll shut my yapper on it. I feel like what you brought up about people having cash, because when you used to get coffee, and it's like, say your coffee is $4.25, you give them a $5 bill, you have 75 cents, you throw it in the tip jar.
Yeah.
I feel like they should bring back, hey, would you like to round up for our service workers? So round up there, because I don't want to give you two, but like 75 cents, yeah, sure, you can take the change.
I like
And
that.
at the
I like
end
clean
of the
numbers.
shift, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That will accumulate into a decent tip. The other part is I wish more of those live performers, I've seen some of them have them, have a Venmo or Cash App or something up so I can tip you, because
Yeah.
you're drumming going crazy out there in Romar Bearden or something like that, and I want to give you a tip, but you only have a tip bucket. I carry cash on occasion. Most days I don't.
Yeah.
I like that.
One final thought as an older parent with older kids that have all been in different industries sometimes they'll come home frustrated because they didn't make as much money as they thought. And a lot of that they can't control. But
Right.
sometimes we'll dive deeper and find out, well, what happened in this instance? Was there a way your service could have been extraordinary? I'm not saying you didn't do a good job. But don't be ordinary. Be extraordinary. Were you extraordinary as whatever your service is? If it's nails, if it's construction, if you're a server, and this is my challenge to parents. Sit down with your kids, sit down with your older adults and say, be extraordinary in whatever you do. If you get a tip, great. If not, you get to leave with your head held high that, hey, I did extraordinary stuff beyond what the minimum was. And I think that's lost in younger generations. And so, anyway, that's sort of a challenge that I continue to try to have for my girls.
There you go.
Very good.
Pass the collection plate, because that was a sermon right there. We're going to squeeze in a quick break. You're watching Morning Edition. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone, into Morning Edition. All right, so we've been talking about tipping, right? How much is too much? Are we tired of tipping? Just the whole tipping culture. It got me thinking about it, something that happened recently. As I was getting ready for Father's Day, and I'm still grateful to have my dad around, still listening to wisdom and thinking about, man, the older I get, I feel and sound just like my dad. And I started thinking, I was at a restaurant recently, and it had to do with tipping, actually. And I was like, oh my God, I just pulled a dad moment. That's a Jack Harper moment. And my wife and girls would have rolled their eyes had they been with me. So it's at the end of the service. Have you guys ever had this? At the end of your meal, you've had a very attentive server until you're done with the meal. And then it's like your server, did they clock out? Did they go home? Are they rolling silver? Where'd they go? This doesn't happen all the time. But sometimes it's like, okay, we've been done 15, 20 minutes, ready to go. I haven't seen my server. What is the proper respectful way to get their attention? My dad would have gotten up and stood in the frame of the kitchen, tracking. Or even this is the worst one, snapping or.
Ooh, I don't like to snap.
And my sister and I would just, we're like, oh God, here he goes again. I can't believe he's doing this.
Jason, you did that?
Well, I didn't. I haven't
did you
snapped.
do?
I have never snapped.
What'd you do?
But my wife Angie will see my body language. She'll see me start to sit up, and I'm like a lighthouse.
one of these.
I mean, I am 360.
Yeah,
I'm looking
yeah.
around. I get close to raising the finger. I don't do it, and she's like, "Sit down." They
I was gonna
want you
say.
there. Don't do it. And I just. So it's not even so much about what's the proper way to get their attention. It's just I realize the older I get, I'm becoming more like my parents. That was sort of the discussion I wanted to have with you guys. Are there things? I mean, you guys are a little bit younger than me, but still, are you finding you're doing things the older you get, like your parents?
100%.
The good and the bad.
Who wants to go first?
Come on now.
I'll jump.
Okay,
My
go
wife-
ahead, jump
My
in.
wife will tell you I've been like my dad for a number of years. I actually pulled up apparently a 2020 study by One Poll found that
Here he goes.
average
Here we
age
go
we
with the
begin to
study.
act like our parents is around 33 years old.
Uh-oh.
I guess I was an early bloomer because it was about 28, 29 for me when my dad and I started exchanging books. So my dad's a voracious reader. I didn't like reading in school, college. And then as I got older, I started seeking my own knowledge. And then my dad started giving me books. I'm buying my dad books and we're all loving what we're learning. I'm starting to laugh like my dad. Something about getting old. I want my space. Like I want land. I don't know where all this came from.
Don't talk about the homestead.
Don't talk about the
I'm
homestead.
trying to sell my family on 10 acres. I'm not there yet, but yeah, just
I'll join.
as I get
No,
older,
baby.
I'm understanding my father and his ways. One of the things he always says, a bird can't fly with one wing. I can't stop saying that now.
I mean, you can. You're just gonna go in a circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
I've embraced it. I've embraced it because there are a lot of things I look up to my dad for, and the fact that that's rubbing off on me, I'm not worried about that. Of course, there's traits of my own that I'm starting to grow, but right around 28, 29, I was like, man, I'm sounding, acting a lot like my dad.
It could be good. Julian, are you acting like Papa Sador?
100%.
Are you really? Like what?
So one, I'll say I agree with Ted. Like your spouse helps you realize because once they meet your parents, they're going like, oh, that's where you get it from. So I am now a recline. I've always been kind of a couch sleeper, but now I snore. And so like my dad, we always used to make fun because dad would fall asleep in front of the TV. And he had the clicker, remote, whatever you want to call it, in your hand, and you try to change the channel. It would, I'm watching that. And I'm not. Come on.
How do they hear that? How do they hear it in the middle of that snoring session?
And so now, like, I have the sixth sense. I'll be sleeping, and my wife will try to change it. I'm like, no. I'm still what, baby? Come on. I'm watching that. And then here's one that I hate admitting, and I caught myself, and I don't do it anymore. My dad, when the waiter comes over to the table and they'll be like, hi, I'm Emily. I'll be your server today. I'll be like, hi, I'm Julian. And they don't care what your name is. My dad would do that. It's like, I'm Brian. This is so and so. And I caught myself doing that. And Jordan was looking like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, it is like one of those. It was like Geico commercials or not Geico, whatever, Progressive.
Probably.
Like not like your parents.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. It's like they don't need to know your name. They're just introducing
That's their
name.
speech. That's their open
They don't
line.
care.
They're on autopilot.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. And then I get short like my mom, but that's comes with old age. I feel like everybody gets a little curmudgeon-y.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me.
I feel like I'm turning into a little bit of a curmudgeon. My mom is not. She's like the golden retriever of humans and just always has like great energy. My dad, bless his soul, up in heaven. He could be a little grumpy. So I get a little
grumps.
I'm getting a little bit grumpier as I get older. So not with him. And again, bless my mom, golden retriever. She's a little bit of a tornado. Everywhere. So I'm very neat and organized. But there are times when I have tornado tendencies, as my husband will tell anyone who will listen. And those are starting to come out more and more. And I'm like, oh, okay. That's just like my mom. I will say that my husband and I would call it the old man walk when my dad was with us. You all know it. They put their hands behind. I can't get up and demonstrate, but they put the hands behind the back.
Yeah.
And they just kind of
Little bit of that
saunter
support.
around.
Yeah.
Well, no, not to hold it, but
Oh.
just to be checking things
That's not
out.
even comfortable.
That's no, but come on. I feel like Jason. That's what you do when you walk out
Yeah.
of your front door and look at your lawn.
Well,
You put the
so we would make fun of him for doing
They're
that.
watching me. They're watching me.
But I caught myself doing that the other day, like looking out our office window in the front yard with my hands behind my back, just kind of go inside. And I went,
do you make the noises though? It's
the
like,
grunt.
nah.
I think I do.
Yeah.
You know the noises your parents make.
I think I do.
I do with my Saturday coffee. I'm like,
They're
But then, or when it rains,
I don't know why.
I say it to Craig all the time when it rains. I'm like, we needed this.
Man.
Yeah.
So
Man.
it's just little things like that, and then you kind of catch yourself and go, "Oh, I can't possibly be doing this. Who was that? What?" And then we go back to normal. But it's the good things and the bad things.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of fun.
I love it.
Harp, you got anything else besides the layout? There's got to be
Oh, man.
because you and Jack, like, you guys are split
Yeah.
images of each other. Like, there's got to be more things.
Well, I mean, he was ex-military, and so I'm definitely, my sister is way more like my dad when it comes to structure and discipline and those kind of things. I am so not, and at all. But I mean, yeah, dad jokes, just the way we sound when we laugh sometimes. That clearing our throat for no reason, nothing's in there at all, wide open. But I'm going to clear it. Maybe it's because I'm uncomfortable. I don't know. But there's a lot of little things where my wife, again. Thank God for our spouses who keep it in accountability, check on us, look and be like, Jack. And I get it. Like, okay, gotcha. I'll go back to this guy.
Good to know that spouses calling you out on that stuff does not end. That's for life, right?
It is for
Forever.
There we go. All right, that's not the only thing we're talking about, getting older and things that you do when you get older. We're going to squeeze in another break. You don't want to miss this. You're watching Morning Edition. We will be right back.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to this next episode of Morning Edition. We've been talking about the older we get, the more we are getting like our parents, and we all agree on this one. What? We all agree that we cannot stay out late any longer. We cannot go to events that start at 8 o'clock.
They have conditions, Annie.
We have so many conditions.
So many.
It reminds me of Nate Bargatze, the comedian. He has a whole shtick about, you know, in your 20s, you'll go wherever. You don't need to know where you're going.
Like a mercenary.
It'll be exactly.
Yeah.
You get your instructions once you get there.
Exactly.
You'll get in the back of a car with like 10 people.
Alone.
It's 10 o'clock at night. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what the weather's like.
Phone's
Now,
dead.
Phone's on like
100%.
10%. Now it's like, okay, who's going to be there?
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing? Is there parking?
Ooh, that's a
What's
good
the attire?
What's the attire? And we're driving separately.
one. Yeah, because you got to have it.
You have to
gotta
have your
it out.
escape plan.
Yeah.
Now, you know, Ted can relate now that we have little ones. Like, her bedtime is 7:30.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything past that point, obviously for safety reasons. But even before that, I'm like, ooh, that starts at 8:30 and it's in Charlotte. Oh, I'm so sorry. The dogs can't be by themselves.
You're going
that
to a
long.
bar?
Go
It's
to
going to
a-
be crowded?
Yeah.
That happens like once a year. It's for the Michigan-Ohio State game. Will I go to a bar and stay out? That's it. Go Blue. What about you guys?
Julian was saying this earlier about the falling asleep thing. Here's why I can't go out past 9, because my wife will tell you I'll sit on the couch.
Oh,
I'll
that's
have
it.
my arms like this.
Oh.
And right around 9:30, about 20, 25 minutes into this movie that we both agreed to watch,
Heavy eyelids.
and that I had to make sure I liked it as much as she did.
Mm-hmm.
Same here.
Yep.
That's it. That's out. So if you invite me to the party at 9 o'clock, hopefully you're good with me just sitting in the corner like this.
Now that's a
That's
dad
true.
move.
Listen, y'all, this may take a while to put together, but I'm telling you, we need to do this show with our spouses.
Oh.
We need to either, it's going to be hard to coordinate it, right? Because they're all working full-time jobs. But at some point, can you imagine having this conversation and our spouses are sitting there going, like, I mean, all high-fiving each other
Yep.
because we all fall asleep for whatever reasons. We have a
100%.
crazy schedule.
100%.
But all right, we'll have to work on that. But no, I'm totally with you. Now, what's interesting for me is that I'm moving into a different phase of my life where 3 of our 4 girls are gone. Our youngest one has her license. She's rarely there.
Yeah.
We had this new time frame from 5-ish p.m. till about 8 every night that we didn't used to have.
Yeah.
And I pushed the envelope. My wife's really good. Again, I already explained that I'm not very disciplined in certain areas, like going to bed at 7:30.
Uh-huh.
My wife is adamant about, you got to go. And I got FOMO. I always had.
Yeah.
And now that girls aren't there, I'm like, I want to stay up later. But that's staying home. That's different than when someone goes, hey, you want to meet us for a bite to eat at 7 o'clock?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah. No, we absolutely will say yes with the conditions, Annie, that you mentioned on, man, we're going to have the parking's not so good. We could
Man.
sit at the bar. I don't want to have to wait for a table more than 5
Hate
minutes.
waiting.
Yeah. I mean, like you have to go through the whole laundry list. And like you said, politely, how about we meet you there?
Yep.
Because if they want to stay and we want to go in 17 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
I want to drive myself home and not, oh man.
I don't want to be held
Yeah.
hostage
You
at
got-
your event.
You guys ever get plans too, and then they're like, "We're gonna go so and so," and then you're like, "And then,
And then
and then we're gonna go."
You're like, wait,
then
more
we're
than
gonna
one
go
thing?
here.
Wait,
No,
wait.
I'm a one event type person now. We'll go to dinner, and then I'm gonna go home.
yes.
I'm not
Unless
going
it's
out anywhere else.
Unless it's like,
dessert.
look,
yeah.
let's go get ice cream.
Good point.
Bingo.
That's always a
Bingo.
yes.
That's fast.
Now, you know
Oh.
what? There is one caveat.
Oh,
If the festivities start at like 10 a.m. or not, you say, "Hey, Julian, you want to golf at 8 a.m., 7 a.m., and then we
And
can go
then-
get brunch?"
yeah.
You're all in for
We're
little.
out.
So I'm doing the math right here. Okay, 8 a.m. tea time. Maybe we get out there late. We have a slow group in front of us. Maybe 1 p.m. have brunch. I'm back in my house by 3 or 4.
That's it.
That's
That's
money.
it.
Mhm.
All right.
Big
Quick,
day.
quick question.
Huh.
Dinner at 5 p.m. or 8 p.m.?
5.
It's a no-brainer.
Five.
5 p.m.
Five.
home by 7:30 or 8. in sweats on the couch.
because then you can have your leftovers by like 9 o'clock and some ice cream, and then you can hit one of the Ted Fadens in front of the.
Can I tell on myself though?
Yes, please.
So I'm in a transition period because I do like to go to bed early, but there's some times where I get this itch and I think I could still hang.
Get that looked at.
Yeah, a doctor will help you with
I
that.
got this itch where I'm like, you know what? I'm not old. I can still hang. And if friends have plans that start at 9 p.m.,
No.
I look at my wife. She's like, I don't know about this. I'm like, I think I got it.
Oh, man. Famous last.
Yep.
And
Oh,
I'll hang,
Mm-mm.
but I don't recover like I used to.
100%.
1,000%.
The price of hanging is so much more.
It is.
It's like triple.
Very expensive.
I need to do a better job at remembering the cost of admission the next time that door opens.
Yes.
Because I regret that price every time.
Ted, we just got our wedding photos back. I'm going to give you a picture of you with one of the wedding napkins
Yes.
that you wore out. You can put that above the door, and just whenever you think you can hang, just remember you
the
and that
napkin.
napkin that night and what you did, and that he didn't do anything wrong. Just wave that napkin like it was, whew,
Still recovering.
P.D. Pablo style. Yeah, no, we can't hang.
North Carolina. Raise up.
Speaking of not being able to hang, I think we all need to get home and take our afternoon
I'm ready
nap.
for a nap. That's what I'm thinking. I got no more words. I have no more words.
With that, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Morning Edition. Patty, wake up. We're not.
What?
And if you don't watch us on the Queen City News Plus app, you can always catch us Monday through Friday. The whole gang is on 6 through 10 a.m. We start our show 4 a.m. in the morning, Monday through Friday on Queen City News. We'll catch you next time.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.